that hard problem that you have a deep emotional connection with, that resonates within you, right? And once you have that problem, you're like 50% done. From that point on, you can start experimenting with different solutions. So fall in love with the problem. Don't try to fall in love with the solution. You can have multiple solutions, throw some of them away. And the next step is find a group of people who have similar beliefs to you. I think that would be one of the strongest things, to have a kind of glue. And after that, the technological stuff would be easy.
Hi there! Welcome back to a new episode of Activism Collectors Podcast. Through this project founded by European Solidarity Corps, we are trying to showcase the people which are making a real difference in their communities. We are also trying to promote volunteering and social cohesion through new technologies and projects.
Hi everyone, my name is Codrina, I'm 21 years old and I'm coming from the Republic of Moldova, but since last year I'm living in Bucharest because I'm a student at University of Bucharest at the Faculty of Political Science. But at the same time I'm a volunteer at European Solidarity Corps with Jake, and with this occasion I have the chance to do those amazing podcasts, Activism Collectors. Today with me I have Răzvan Pistolea. So hi Răzvan.
Hi Codrina, I'm honored to be here.
He's the founder and CEO of Digital Dryads, a platform focused on the sustainability, something like this. Can you tell me more about you and about this project, please?
Okay, my name is Răzvan Pistolea, I'm from Romania, and with the help of my colleagues we created a platform called Digital Dryads, which tries to address the problem of sustainability, accountability, digitalization around the forestry sector. The first problem that we tackled was the loss of forest, and we used satellite data with European satellites, American satellites, and we were able to discover the areas of forest that have gone missing. And then we cross-correlated those missing areas with the legal paperwork. In Romania it's called APV, Act de Punere în Valoare, which says that in this region you are allowed to cut trees. So for us it was simple to see that correlation between forest loss and the legal paperwork, which means it was a legal deforestation, and otherwise if you had forest loss and no legal paperwork, or you had forest loss in areas that were protected, then most probably it was an illegal deforestation.
Thank you so much. I think that in those times where deforestation, when deforestation is like a big problem in our country, in Romania, what led you to found Digital Dryads, and what was your motivation to do this?
So I think it all started when I was with my friends at a beer, and we were frustrated about all the messages that we saw at the news, in social media, and we said, okay, there's nothing we can do about it, we're just software engineers, right? But then we had the idea that, hey, no, we can actually monitor, we can actually measure the amount of forest loss, and we can create a tool that can help everybody from people just like you and me, to policymakers, to people who are trying to stop the theft, to law enforcement agencies. So we created this tool and we gave it away for free, pro bono.
So those amazing projects started with a glass of beer, as I understand.
Yes, beer and a bit of frustration.
Thank you so much. I have a curiosity, and this is about your civic background, because this project is about civic society somehow. Sure. It's a civic involvement, let's say like this. And may I ask you if you had a civic background before, or this is your first?
I think this is my first civic background. Being an engineer, I'm very pragmatic, but the scale of this problem was too big for us to ignore.
Yeah.
So this, I think, also answers the question of what motivates us. I think we all see it as a very big problem that can be addressed. And we address this from the technological side, but there are multiple sides to this story.
And also, did you start alone? Because you told me before that this idea started with a glass of beer with your friend and so on. How was your team, and how you motivated the team to do those projects with you?
How I motivated them?
Yeah,
I think they were also feeling the frustration of losing forests because they have a very important role in our society, right? With the loss of forest, you have destroyed ecosystem, you have floods, you have soil erosion, and I think that some of them were motivated by the fact that they want their children to live in a country where the air is clean, you do not have floods, right? And the others were motivated by their frustration against this kind of theft.
Yeah, thank you. So because now I want to know a little bit more about yourself, and after that we will be back to speak about your project. So Razvan, may I ask you what was your interest when you were in high school, or maybe in university? What university you've done?
Okay.
And how you started your career in IT? Because I know you're in this.
Okay. So in high school, my interests were playing football and going to physics Olympiads.
Okay.
Which meant that I had more time to play football because when we were doing preparations, it also meant that no one was, measuring how much time was either learning or playing, right? And then in the university, I did the Polytechnica University in Bucharest. I went on the computer science. And then I went to compilers, which are software that creates software, and then I went into a master's in artificial intelligence. So that was my trail.
And you've done the school here in Romania?
Yes, I have done the school here in Romania.
So we can do it.
Yes.
Now we will be back, and I will ask a question I think for all the viewers we have. For those who aren't familiar with your project, with Digital Dryads.
Yes.
How would you present it? What is exactly doing and how is working?
Okay, so you can use your phone or your tablet or your laptop to go into the website. It's www.digitaldryads.eu. It's free for everybody. We did a couple of countries, including our own, Romania. So what you can see there are multiple layers. You have the Google Maps, right? You can see the forest there. And then on top of it, you can see the forest loss, right? So we monitor each pixel. We can detect whether a pixel is forest or a pixel is not forest, right? And then for the pixels that are forest, we look over them over time, right? So you have European satellites, you have probably 3 satellites that go every 4 days over the same spot, right? You have American satellites, and you also have private satellites. And we created deals, and we are able to download the zone that we are interested in, and we can process it, so we can see if that pixel is missing, right? And that was the whole project. Like, can we detect the forest loss? And yes, it can be easily detected. It would have been better if we had access to more, let's say, expensive data sets that would have better resolution or higher frequency. But even with the free satellite data, we were able to see the forest loss. And then the second part of the project, which also uses a bit of AI, we created something similar to Google that crawl different websites to get all the data that we needed from different services, different servers, and we were able to extract data from that, the exact position of the legal paperwork. And then we overlaid all the layers on top, the forest laws, the legal paperwork, the protected zones, the UNESCO forest, all that we were interested in.
For me, it's like I'm a little bit in shock because it's like sounds amazing how you started to have images like from satellites and stuff like this. For me, it sounds like so.
I mean,
difficult.
you can get them too. Don't
so
worry.
Difficult, yeah.
And you guys can get them too as well, and girls.
Yeah, we will try to see if it works or not. For now, widely was first thing first. When you launched this platform in which year?
Around 2020.
So COVID time.
COVID time, yes.
How was it? Did you had like people who were using this platform from the
Oh
beginning?
yes, we were. Our first website was not able to sustain the traffic because we had a lot of people going on it,
Okay.
and then that's why we had to move to Google Maps because they were able to provide all the information in a, let's say, with a good response time, right?
Mhm.
You wouldn't want to stay 1 minute to see the map loading. You want it in a couple of seconds, which it works right now. Yes, we have had hundreds of thousands of people from different European countries using it, and a lot of people from Romania using it.
Oh, but let me ask you a controversial question.
Should.
And what about public administration, public institutions?
I think they like the project because they're now trying to copy it. However, they did not work with us to create it or develop it further.
And okay, I'm so sorry for hearing this, but I hope you will find some middle.
Maybe, we will see.
You told me about international. People used it international.
Yes.
In which countries were was popular?
I think all European countries were playing with this tool, with this instrument, this software instrument. However, in some countries, they already have similar tools provided by their own governments, right? So it was a breath of fresh air for some countries, but common sense in others.
Okay, thank you. And one curiosity I have is about the technology you use for this platform. For example, you are using cameras, public video cameras, or you have your private ones?
So there are a couple of projects that we did.
Yeah.
The first project was using satellite data.
Yeah.
The second project extended this project to also use drone data. So we are able to combine satellite and drone data. So the third version that I was saying is able to count the number of logs and estimate the volume.
Okay.
If it's on the ground, in a truck, in a container, right? Because in Romania there are around 20,000 wood transports, and around 10,000 are round wood.
Okay.
Which means that if law enforcement would actually check every one of them, it would be like 10,000 checks per day, right?
Yeah.
You cannot manually do it, and the law tells you that the law enforcement needs to go to the nearest Ocol Silvic and measure it with forestry calipers there, which takes like 2 hours, 4 hours. But with the phone app, you can do it in 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So now law enforcement agents, even though it's not officially used, they can measure quickly, and then they can decide, okay, this is definitely overweight, over volume. We can pick this one and we will measure this one officially,
Yeah.
right? And the other way it is used is not by law enforcement, but by people who are buying and selling wood as a proof in their commercial relations. Hey, I want to sell you 10 cubic meters. I measure it using this app. Okay, I'm buying it. I'm also measuring it using this app. So it helps a lot of commercial relations between different players.
True. Now I have another curiosity because you.
And there's also going to be an extension, but we can talk about it later.
Please. So I'm shocked about one thing. Is that you have a background in IT?
Yes.
Did you have also a background in Silvic field, or this was your first time with like interaction?
I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
And I'm also a software engineer.
Yeah.
Yes, but I do not have any kind of background in forestry,
Yeah.
even though we have a lot of university partners from the forestry departments, both in Romania and 7 other European countries.
Okay.
Engineers can talk to engineers and they understand each other.
Okay. Because I wanted also to ask you if you had the steps like on paper, like 1, 2, 3, or you learned through this process?
We learned as we go.
How many mistakes?
countless.
So you launched the platform in 2020.
Yes.
How much time did you need to do this platform?
Depends how you measure time, because if you look at when we started working as engineers, we already had like 10 years of engineering and creating software packages from different types of clients. So for us, in order to create this kind of product or service, it was very easy to break it down into its constituent parts. Like, if I were a project manager, I would like to implement this.
Yeah.
What are the user stories that I would have to create, which would be the backlog task, and each expert with its own field. Okay, you need to have a GIS expert, you need to have a machine learning expert, you need to have an image processing expert, you need to have a mobile expert. So just looking at the bigger task, cutting it into smaller pieces, and then finding the right people for the job.
How was your teamwork?
We are not just colleagues, we are friends.
Yeah, it was cute. Yeah, I know that you were friends, are friends. So how was the collaboration between you? One was doing something, one...
Yeah. We decided beforehand we each needs to have its own piece and assume responsibility for creating that piece. And if that piece was well thought out, then it just, the puzzle will get completed.
Beautiful. But did you have like challenges?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Did you have like fights in the group, or maybe about technical problems? I see.
The technical problems are never the real problem. Yes, our discussions were mostly around, okay, do we point the finger at people or do we point the finger at the problem? Is this a tool that has like a legal basis, or is it just a tool that can help someone make an informed decision? So these were the discussions that we each has its own personal opinion around it, right?
Yeah.
The technical stuff is, we need to do this. Yeah, we all agree we need to do this.
Who was responsible with the design of the app?
No one.
No one.
No one. That's why it looks so bad. But no one was responsible.
You can do it.
Yes.
So you work like together with. You didn't have like each one has like a specific task. Everyone was doing.
Yeah, we decided a bunch of tasks and each one was picking them from the list.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. And now about one more interesting thing about this project is funds, money. How much costs you to do this project, and if you had like some collaboration with some people?
So the initial costs of the project were quite small because we did it as a proof of concept to see if it could be done.
Yeah.
Then we had help from Google and Amazon. They gave us money, but not money cash, but money as credits in their cloud.
Okay.
So we were able to do image processing of the satellite data in their clouds and just get the results, which helped us a lot. And we are looking to fund this project with private equity. And we are also trying to do two European tenders around this project.
Yeah.
Not exactly this project as it is right now, but one that is around the traceability. So as you might know or might not know, there is the EUDR, EU Deforestation Regulation, and EUTR, the Timber Regulation. And it kind of like sets the direction Europe wants to go in the next 5-10 years. So one of the directions that we can take this project that we have, both the satellite and drone processing and the mobile version, and create a new traceability platform. And another direction that we are doing with a lot of European partners is actually detecting all sorts of fraud around the transportation of wood in and out of Europe.
Oh, beautiful. May I ask you, you said something about Google and Amazon. How you reached those companies? Did you send like an email?
They have all sorts of projects for students, for academia. They have all sorts. You just have to search for them. And yeah, getting in touch with a real person saying, hey, we want to do this, can you help? Usually, or at least for us, it opened a lot of doors, yes. Because people saw the problem and the solution similar to how we saw it. And there were actually no obstacles. I think the deals were done within a week.
Oh, fast.
Yeah.
So I already know that you didn't have that much support from Romanian institutions, but you had from European ones.
Exactly.
May I ask which countries were, or organizations maybe?
So we actually have a lot of open doors in government and agencies and a couple of organizations. So even legal associations. I would say Germany, Austria, Holland were very open with working with us. Spain as well. And yeah, those are the big ones.
Okay. I am asking you this because I know that in 2020 you won EU Decathlon.
Yes.
How this impacted your project? Did you feel more motivated after this?
I mean, it gave us a bit of validation and recognition, but we didn't start it because of that, and we didn't stop it after that. So it was just one nice recognition along the way. Yes, the European Commission and the Publications Office they gave us first prize in EU Datathon 2020. I think they did it for EU Green Deal or digital transformation tools.
Cool.
And our software does fit into those categories.
And those being said, do you want to expand your platform in more files, like for example water savings and recycling?
Oh yeah, definitely. We have partners from Germany that are using our software for they are trying to detect what types of wood are going into the recycling process, because based on the shape and type of wood, they can do different processes to it. So yeah, we can expand into recycling. We can also expand into water monitoring and agriculture monitoring. Definitely, the math doesn't change. The scalable cloud architecture is already in place. We just need new data and to train it on new data. So
I heard a lot of things from European side, from this part of the world. What about different continents? Did you reach more countries or more?
Yes, actually through some European agencies they have reached us.
Okay.
Yes, and in Asia they are interested in using our software to monitor banana trees. Okay, to use our software to predict their crops for different types of fruits or oil making fruits. And again, some of the problems that Eastern Europe has, they are existing in some of Asian countries. So yes, they have asked if we can work with them.
Oh, beautiful. So you reached Asia as well.
A bit of Asia, but yes.
How do you use AI? I heard that you do. How much you use AI in this project?
So there was one step of training the AI to detect what is forest and what is not forest, and another AI to actually crawl and extract the data we needed. So these two pieces of AI. And for the mobile app, again, an AI that is able to detect each individual log, predict its shape, even if it's covered by another log or covered in mud or snow. So it is trying to accurately predict the shape in order to have a very accurate volume. So different pieces of AI that is very fine-tuned for the problem.
And now I have a controversial question. Let's say like
Go for it.
So how do you manage energy consumption in this project, knowing that AI as well is using a lot of energy?
Okay, yeah, AI is using a lot of energy if you're doing large language models, right? If you're trying to generate images or you're trying to generate text, and if you are one of the big companies in USA that is trying to do this task, yes, you will use a lot of energy. However, competitors from China proved that you can also do it with processors, right? The same kind of energy hungry task. But for our task, we do not use those generative models. We use very small specific models. They do use energy, but we believe the upside is way better than the amount of energy they use. Exactly.
Okay. Good question. So you are
Yes.
doing now.
Yeah.
So now I want to talk with you more about, let's say, money. Because as I know, you used your own resources, like
Yes.
your own money. Back in April 2023, I heard you saying in one podcast that you had the goal to reach, to win, to raise.
To raise, probably.
To raise 500,000.
500,000.
Exactly,
Yes.
500,000 for continuing to develop this project. Did you reach this amount of money, or you are still in process?
I only met with a couple of investors. They wanted to invest, but we didn't like the deal. We also had an agency, an European agency that wanted to invest. I think we also turned down that deal. But we are now trying to fund it to two different other projects. So public funding and the project that allows you to measure wood using your phone, your smartphone, that is already funding itself. So we don't need to fund that one anymore.
Okay, so for now you are good to
Yes.
develop more your platform.
Exactly.
Did you consider it to apply for some projects founded by EU or?
Yeah, we have considered it. We are trying to apply to a EU one and to a Romanian one.
Okay, that's really nice. So now we talk about the past, about the Digital Dryads.
Yes.
What is happening right now with it? In which step are you now?
So for Digital Dryads, we are doing two funding projects, and we are also doing two big projects that are privately funded.
Okay, so you are ongoing now?
Ongoing,
Yeah,
yes.
it didn't stop. Now may I ask you, what's the plan in the next 5 years with this platform? What do you want to reach with this? What is your main goal?
So the main goal is to solve the problem, and the problem was monitoring the health of the forest. Okay, in some countries it meant theft, but in other countries could mean, okay, can we predict the drought? In some countries could mean, can we predict whether pests are trying to eat away at the trees, right? And again, in some countries it could mean, okay, we will have a good production or not, right? So creating an AI that can answer all sorts of forestry questions, that is able to monitor the entire globe, is one of the end games of this project.
And what kept you motivated to continue with this file? Because as I understood, you don't have you don't take money from this project.
No.
So you're doing this with like a pure intention of
Yes.
helping the society somehow. So what kept you motivated, and your team as well?
I think that once we lose the forest, we are not going to get them back easily.
Yeah.
So probably I'm a bit selfish and thinking about my own health and the future of my children, grandchildren that will live on this planet, that we are not really taking really good care of.
Yeah.
So that motivates me. It's a hard problem. technology doesn't solve it entirely, but it brings the problem to our eyes.
Yeah.
This is what is happening now. Anybody can see, citizens, lawmakers, right? What can we do about it?
For someone like me, let's say,
Yes.
who wants to develop something similar to your platform, to resolve one problem from our society, what is your advice for us, for someone who is watching us maybe?
So my advice to you, Codrina, would be find that hard problem that you have a deep emotional connection with, that resonates within you, right? And once you have that problem, you're like 50% done, right? From that point on, you can start experimenting with different solutions. So fall in love with the problem. Don't try to fall in love with the solution. You can have multiple solutions, throw some of them away.
Yeah.
And the next step is find a group of people who have similar beliefs to you. I think that would be one of the strongest things, to have a kind of glue and people who think about that and have the same set of values as you do about that. And after that, the technological stuff would be easy.
Easy?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm not really good at in IT.
Don't worry. We can help you. Just come
So
come
we
with
can
the hard
collaborate
problem
with
and
this.
convince us that it's a problem worth working on it.
Yeah, beautiful saying. So I will, I will knock at your door with
Yes.
one
Yes.
idea.
Yeah.
No, why?
With one big piece of paper. Here's
Yeah,
the problem.
so, yeah. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to start from the beginning, but I just ran from my mind. Digital Dryads started as an NGO. Now you are a company. How did you get from one point to another?
So it actually started with a problem and then a project, a proof of concept actually. And then we created the association, then the NGO, which overlaps the association. And then because we would like to get funding for it, we need to create a company.
Yeah.
So right now we have Digital Dryads as an NGO and Digital Dryads as a company.
Oh, so you have both. And what is the goal for both? For what you're using in Digital Dryads as an NGO and Digital Dryads as a company?
So the goal is the same, the development of Digital Dryads as
Like to reach different...
You need different legal vehicles for different steps.
Okay. And now, because we... Oh no, I have one more question.
Go for it.
About Digital Dryads. Do you use your own servers or you use different one?
So as I said, when we processed on Google and Amazon, we use Google and Amazon servers.
Yeah,
We also have our own cloud and we can process there, and we can also process it in our, bedroom. We have some servers in our bedrooms, so all over the place, but mostly in our Digital Dryads cloud.
Okay. And the last question is, now, in the present, today, what is the direct relation between Digital Dryads and Romanian authorities? Did you try it again to reach them, to say, look, we want to do it for our country, or they are still not open to this?
We did not continue to reach to them. Initially we reached to them repeatedly. Now we stopped focusing because it doesn't make sense to keep knocking on closed doors.
Yeah. Oh, good one. Thank you. How do you balance the need for technological innovation with the practical challenges of nowadays world? For example, maybe in Romania, not so many people are interested in saving forests. How did you manage to go through those problems?
It needs to be important for me and for us, and not for everybody.
Okay.
Probably Romanians have a lot more problems than, trees being in their top 3 or top 5. They have health issues, kids issues, financial issues.
And so on.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing those amazing answers for my question I had about Digital Dryads. which is a project, civic project for our society. Now I want to talk more about your background and your life. So as I know from your LinkedIn page, you have a lot of projects in which you are involved, and you are a co-founder, a CEO, partner, and so on and so forth. One of them are about economic body, something like
Yes.
bodies.
Yes, it's called Balanța Body. It's
Balanța
actual the processing of accounting balance sheets or trial balances, I believe they're called in English. Yes, it's one of the projects that we said, okay, we can make a company into this because it's a problem that all the banks and leasing companies and IFNE have in Romania, which is the fact that there are multiple accounting solutions and they export data differently, and our Balanța Body is able to get all the data from disparate sources that vary very much and put them into a very standard format, on top of which you can do all sorts of forecast analysis, ratio calculations.
Okay, so Digital Dryads.
Balanța
Body.
Yes.
What else?
Aiception is the main company.
Okay. And,
We develop deep learning modules for our clients. Usually they come to us with a problem and we try to see if we can find the data and train an AI that can solve that data. So it's around AI automation.
I'm trying to understand those terms.
Yes.
So one big question I have for you now, after I hear all the things you are doing, how do you manage to do all of this, and how do you prioritize those in your lifestyle somehow, because you have 24 hours in a day? So.
Yes. Well, how do I prioritize them?
Something in my free time with friends, something.
To be honest, when I wash the dishes, right?
Yeah.
I get glimpses of the solution. So you can say I'm not washing the dishes, but I'm actually solving the problem.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying there is a hard rule on how you should prioritize your life, but do something that would help you grow, make you stronger, smarter, more well-rounded as a person, right? The fact that I have many projects is not because I wanted to have many projects, it's like a side effect of things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And also I think it's very important that once you start something that you finish it, right? So yes, we have had projects, we did predictive maintenance. We worked with Volkswagen and we were able to predict when their robots would fail.
Okay.
Right? We are now working with banks. We have different OCR engines. We have different risk engines. What hasn't changed is the math. So we are good at math, we are good at physics, and we are good at artificial intelligence. So it's very simple for us to actually solve approximately a problem once we understand it.
Yeah. So this is a pure example about do what you like, because I think you like to be like in the field of economic with IT and
forestry,
yeah, which is So having those backgrounds in different fields, from foresting to economics and IT as well, how do you think the world will AI world? No. Having those backgrounds in different fields, how do you think that AI will develop and how we can use it in our goods? Because there's a lot of opinions about AI, to use it or not use it. It's good for us, it's not good for us. What do you think? Because you are working directly with this.
AI, a lot of people say it's like a revolution, right? We have the agricultural revolution, the industrial revolution, we had the internet, and now we have AI. And a lot of people are saying AI might be the last revolution that we need to do, right? Because once you can automate creativity or problem solving, humankind doesn't need to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it like that. I'm seeing it more like AI is a tool, and you have to use that tool, right? AI could be a knife. It could be useful to cut things. You could use it to stab people, right? But it's still a knife. It's nothing that is intrinsically good or bad with that knife.
Yeah.
Similar with AI. If I have a problem, and if the AI can help me solve it faster or better, or it can help me automate some of the things that I want, for me is a force of good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it cannot be used as a force of evil. We have seen a lot of fake news. You can generate fake content. You can generate images that are inappropriate for some people, right? So it can also be a force of bad, but it's nothing that is, no one says, okay, the AI, you should be bad, you should be good. No, it's how us as humans decide to use it. So yeah, it is a very powerful tool, and I believe that we also have a responsibility, but at this point in time is not regulated in any way.
Yeah.
There's things that you should not do with it, which are very clear, but everything else is yours to experiment with.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem I see in AI tool is about OMPI. I don't know how to say it in English. It's Organizația Mondială a Proprietății Intelectuale. Intellectual property, about intellectual property. So, do you think this is a problem?
Tough question. How should I answer it?
How-
Okay.
Who,
Do you know what Picasso said?
No.
He said something along, and I think it was Picasso's, like, if you get inspiration from one person,
Yeah.
then it's theft. If you get inspiration for multiple, then you're an artist,
Oh, okay. Perfect.
right? So a lot of people are raising the concern, saying, okay, this AI is not really creative. It's just looking at hundreds and thousands of literary works or artworks,
Yeah.
and is just copying bits and pieces from it, and thus is not creative. We should not give any kind of rights to that AI, and AI work itself, it's worthless.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Again, it can also be used as infringement, right? You can take an image and infringe upon it, or these are all ethical questions. If you're asking me, should you infringe on someone's work? No. Should you train on someone's work without their permission, which is similar to how these large language models and image generators were trained without their permission? No. Because as artists, right, you should get remunerated for the work that you have done.
Exactly.
Right? So if someone is using AI to generate content based on someone's work and they're getting money for it, then there should be a mechanism for that money to flow to the original creators.
Yeah.
Or to have a mechanism where original creators can opt out of AI being trained on their works. These are easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
Because having multiple countries that are investing trillions of dollars into AI research, I believe that humans are somewhat neglected, right?
Oh.
So AI, powerful tool, you need to know how to use it, and we should not infringe on people's rights.
Yeah.
Right now, it's difficult to monitor what was stolen, how it was stolen, and how it is used.
Yeah.
So, hard problems.
Hard problems. What people can do to, that is this problem about AI and that it it takes the jobs from the people. How we as human beings need to moderate ourselves to go through this era of changes. How did you say revolution?
Yes, revolution. Some of the jobs that are taken by the AI are repetitive, non-value adding jobs that I do not believe a human being should be doing in the first place.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, taking away the fact that we are washing dishes or cleaning clothes, the AI can do that and can automate that. But if I want to start drawing or singing and the AI tries to do that, I would probably say, no, let me draw because I want to draw, right? So, yes, it is going to take some jobs. It is going to generate some jobs. It's probably going to take jobs at a faster rate than it's generating. And the fact that it is all interconnected and it's happening so fast at this speed, and we as human beings in the later revolutions had thousands or hundreds of years to adapt, and now we need to adapt within
1
years,
year.
right? It's a hard problem.
Yeah.
So I don't have a solution for you.
It's okay to find out your opinion. So now we are done with theoretical part and asking me serious questions somehow like this. I'm trying to think that you still have some free time in those projects.
I do.
I hope so.
I do.
What you are doing in your free time?
Taking long walks.
Running?
Yes, I love running.
Running. And I wanted to ask you about books. What books you are reading? What podcasts you are listening? What you recommend to our viewers to?
So, for the past year, I've been reading a lot of investment books.
Okay, economics.
Yeah, I've read a couple of self-help books, just for curiosity. But apparently, there's nothing wrong with trying to do self-help. And I'm trying to really understand accounting because it's funny. I have AI that does accounting very well, and I need to understand what it's actually trying to do there.
So, in your free time, you're reading about the things you're doing.
Yes.
Do you have a?
But I also read books for the pleasure of reading, mostly fantasy or science fiction.
Yeah. Do you have a name of a book in your mind which you want to share with us? For example, I will take us a recommendation.
So the last book that I finished, I think it was yesterday, it was Memoirs by Sid Meier. So Sid Meier is like this famous game creator who created the Civilization series, Pirates, Railroads and Civilization. And in his book he describes how he started his company, creating games, the problems he's had. So it's both educational and entertaining.
Yeah, thank you. I will take us as a recommendation for the weekend to see if I will start or not this book.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Razvan, for your time and that you come to our interview. We did Activist Collectors, and I think that you are here because you're an activist, doing important things in your, let's say, shadow, like this Digital Dryads, which is important as I think for our society. And it's been a pleasure for me to talk with you and to listen to your to your stories and your insights and your experiences and so on and so far. And thank you for our listeners, watchers, who watched this video till the end.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here, and it was a pleasure speaking with you, Codrina, and answer your questions. And again, if you guys want to do the same thing that we did, it's totally possible. You can reach out. Codrina can put my email.
Yeah.
And
in the description.
Yes, whatever social media or professional social media that you use.
Like, share, comment, or how?
Yes.
Do you have a...
Smash that button.
Yeah. Do you have a recommendation for young people which are watching us and want to be inspired from you?
Yeah, life is short. To do something you love and do it with all your heart and focus on one thing. Don't try to focus on many. Focus on one thing and do it well and do it right, and sooner or later you'll get the recognition that you desire or solve the problem that you have.
Thank you so much, Razvan. See you soon.